I just want to make this quick video, man. And let me get in the truck so that we could get rid of some of this background noise. But it's gonna be dark in there. But oh, so the cop just got convicted in the cop that shot Sonya Massey. Sonya Massey. If you don't know about the Sonya Massey case, look it up. SONYAMASSEY. But basically, she's the woman, the older woman that a cop shot. He was like, "I'm gonna fucking shoot you in the face," and then he shot her in the face because she had a pot of boiling water. She didn't throw it at him. Now, people like Charlie Kirk made videos. People like Candace Owens made videos where they claimed that she threw the water at him. Videos might still be on their channel. This Sonya Massey case is so recent. But this cop just got convicted, and they charged him with the lesser charges. He's facing 4 to 20 years max. This cop who shot an older woman in the face. And the crazy thing, go watch the video. And like I say, people was mad that people was making jokes about Charlie Kirk, but look at the jokes that MAGA was making about Sonya Massey when she got shot in the face by a cop. And now that cop is facing 4 to 20 years. I talk about my robbery case on my channel sometime. That robbery case I caught, when I first caught that case, I was originally charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, and I was facing 5 to 99 years for a robbery I committed when I was 18 years old. And that's the thing about the justice system. It's so weird about that. And Donald Trump is all for it. Notice how Donald Trump, I'm talking Trump mostly, because this is about MAGA. This is kind of like a victory, kind of sort of, because he got convicted. If it was up to MAGA and Donald Trump and those type of people, remember Donald Trump literally said cops should be rougher with people. He said that in his first election. He said when you put the inmates in the vehicle, you should hit their head on the door. He said that. That's who you voted for. Police brutality, they love police brutality because it happens mostly in the inner cities. You know, these MAGA people, they're either rural people that don't live in the city and they hate city folks, or they're city folks that are scared of minorities. You know, I just did Uber all night here in Austin. Literally, it's Halloween. Well, it's November 1st now, and the sun is coming up. You can see the pink hue if I point this camera in the right way. I just did Halloween all night, and it was the same thing. You know, these young girls, fresh from these rural towns, same thing every Halloween. And it was a cold. I got on a jacket. Same thing. Couldn't wait to get out there, running around. So many scantily clad girls. I can't believe that never changes. These girls go out there for their little Halloween festivities. And I was an Uber driver. I just did my 12 hours. Not just now. As a matter of fact, my hours might be coming back soon. It's 7 in the morning. Yeah, I ran out of hours like 5 in the morning. Oh no, I can't go back. Yeah, I can't go back online until 10:20. So I did just run out of hour not too long ago. But anyway, I've been doing Uber since 2013. I've had some incidents where I go in to pick up girls, and it's not a racial thing. I do try to make it not a racial thing. The most I've ever been insulted as an Uber driver. I was about to tell a story about this black girl that acted really crazy when I drove up, and she was like telling her friend, like, "Don't get in the car, girl. Don't get in the car." And I actually got mad as fuck. I talked about this on my channel before. I got mad as fuck. And I was like, ain't nobody trying to rape you bitches. Like, I got mad. And they had a dude with him too. And I started cursing him out. That's the bad thing. Like, I was so mad. I can't fight women, but I was so mad. I was man, I was mad. Like, who the fuck? I'm coming here to do an Uber drive. When I do Uber, I'm getting people home safe. And you gonna accuse me of rape, kidnapping shit? And this was the black girl. Because the white girl was gonna get in the car. And the black girl was like, girl, don't get in the car, you stupid. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Now, I tell the story on my other channel. There's more details to it and everything. But still, there's nothing, I don't look like a rapist. But when people do accuse me of looking like a rapist, they racist, man. I don't look like a rapist. I don't. But when I'm walking through a store, I was about to say, and people grab their kids and like usher them away. I've done that with my kids, so we fucked up for that shit. We fucked up for that shit. Anyway, I'm over here talking about Sonya Massey, and I made it all about me. But it is all about me. This is my channel. And I'm going to talk about Sonya Massey how I want to talk about her. That shit fucked me up. I mean, apologies to the family. That's the real victims of that. Could you imagine watching your... I'm not going to take it. I am going to go crazy. If and when, just like when my brother died. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to go crazy. I didn't see the solid evidence that I needed. And, my brother, I talk about it. Almost every conversation I had with my brother, I almost always mentioned fentanyl. And I was telling him, stop, you know what I'm saying? Tino died from an overdose, fentanyl. And this is one thing I used to talk to Tino all the time about. Stop getting high with everybody, man. Stop getting high with everybody. And that was Tino's thing. If you know my brother did not turn down no free alcohol. He didn't turn down no free drugs. I went through a phase like that. You know what I'm saying? As a very young man, I outgrew that shit real early. I called my felony. I mentioned my robbery case while I was facing 5 to 99 for robbing a Burger King. Meanwhile, this cop, you know what I'm saying? I was 18. And this is how the justice system is. They'll throw the book at the young people. I'm 47 now, so this ain't even about me. This is about how fucked up our system is. Donald Trump is such a piece of shit. He tried to get the Central Park 5 boys murdered for a rape they didn't commit. He tried to get them murdered. He tried to get it to where we could get the death penalty for rape. Think about that, people. This motherfucker, the president out of all presidents, our president, you take every last president. He calls himself 45. Well, you got to call him two things. But anyway, you take every last president we ever have, you add up all of their rape accusations, charges, and all that stuff. Donald Trump beats him. Donald Trump has been accused of rape more times and more years than everybody combined. All presidents combined. However, he wanted the Central Park 5 boys, none of which were anywhere close to adults. I think maybe 1 or 2 was 18, but I don't think so. I think they was walking home from high school through Central Park. And some girl had got raped the night before or something like that. But anyway, they didn't have nothing to do with it. They didn't know nothing about it. The New York City police tortured these boys to make them confess. And maybe not even torture them. You ain't even got to torture somebody. If you kidnap somebody and you just talk to them forever and they just want to go to sleep, they want to go to sleep, they want to go to sleep, and they doze off and stuff and you... Damn, I shouldn't have did that. But that's how they act. I had to do it to make that point. When you get those interrogations, I've been interrogated as a teenager. And what they do is they take you in a room. And see, that's the thing. I'm from Chicago originally. So the first time I was ever interrogated, it was by Chicago police. When I was young, me and Tino got interrogated together. As a matter of fact, the first time Tino ever got interrogated, we was together. Because Tino, he was so nonverbal back when we was little that a lot of times, especially back then when we would get in trouble, he wouldn't want us to get separated. And I wouldn't want us to get separated either, because I knew that if and when we got separated, I would have to look really hard for him, and he would, we were good. It never happened. We always did meet back up before we had to make it home. Always. I don't think I ever returned home one time without Tino when we was little boys. But either way it go, They take you in that room. It's usually a metal table. You sit in a metal chair. You often chained to something, and those chains don't feel good, especially after that for a while. You got the handcuff on, and you start taking a nap like this, and as you like laying your head here, that handcuff digs into your forehead, digs into this. But anyway, like I say, you start to doze off, and the cops, they real strategic. They watch you from the glass. And they'll start talking to each other, and they'll be like, he's starting to go, he's starting to go. And then you go in there about to go to sleep, and then that's when they go in there, and like I say, you go to sleep, and bam, they slap that table. Now, thankfully, my mama used to beat the fuck out of me. So when the cops started beating on me to try to get me to snitch on dudes in the neighborhood and stuff, I laughed at them. Real talk. Real talk. Cops would try to slap me and shit. Not all the time. Sometimes the cops slap me and I would cry. I ain't gonna lie. And there's people laughing right now. You know what I'm saying? Those red pill type of dudes always do that. They'll laugh if you say something like that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The first time a cop slapped the fuck out of me, I cried. I didn't cry. I tell a story about that cop when me and George had that fight and the cop threw us both in the back seat and me and the cop was arguing back and forth, and then he reached back there and slapped me while I had my hands cuffed behind my back. I was in 7th grade for that. I didn't cry. I remember I just looked at him because me and George we was in the back seat together. And I know I looked over at George, and me and George was just fighting. But we both from the same neighborhood. We both in the same grade. We both go to the same school. And we was kind of enemies at the time. But that cop smacked me, and I just looked. I wish the sunlight was on, because I'd done this before. But I know my mouth just opened. I just was like, and I looked over at George. I was like, this motherfucker smacked me. And the cop looked kind of fucked up. The cop looked like, damn, I just slapped the shit out you in your face, and, you don't have no reaction. But my mama used to slap the shit out of me when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old. And see, that's one of the things about these stupid ass, bitch ass red pill dudes. They always talk about, or not just the red pill dudes, it's a lot of people like this. I almost slipped and said black people, because black people do it a lot, where they be like, you need to beat your kids so they stay out of prison. You stupid cocksucking motherfuckers. Prisons are full of motherfuckers who don't only got beat, they got beat like me. My mama used to beat me. I've been beat by the police before I made it out of elementary school. I got jumped all the motherfucking time. People beat me all the time for having a crazy mouth, having a smart mouth. Like, what the hell? There's this saying that stupid ass, hillbilly ass Negroes love to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. My mama used to say that shit to me. A hard head makes a soft behind. And I know at some point I started getting smart with my mama. Like, at some point, it was like, you've been hitting me as hard as you could since I was little. Now I'm literally bigger than you. Are you still hitting me? And not just hitting me. See, my mama was fucked up. I remember the last whooping my mama gave me, I was like 15 or 16. She caught me with cigarettes. She found my cigarettes and she threw them away, and I was mad. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I had for her. I wasn't saying nothing to her, and I was just looking at her like, you threw my cigarettes away? You know what I'm saying? I work. I buy all my own shit. I got a job. I work with you. Me and my mom worked literally at the same company, and I was fucking harder worker than her. So when she took my cigarettes and threw them away, I was just like, you threw my cigarettes away? Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? You can't be doing that. That's my property, man. You know what I'm saying? I was mad. So anyway, my mom was like, you know what? You think you too big for a whooping, blah, blah, blah. Come up in here. And me, I let her whoop me. I'm not the type of dude hitting my mom. I'm not a punk-ass bitch like Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor got a story where he bragging about slapping the fuck out of his mom, and his dad didn't even do nothing. He come from a bitch-ass lineage. Could you imagine that your son, your like 18, 19-year-old son, slapped the shit out of your wife for yelling at him, and you don't do nothing? Man. I mean, everything is circumstantial. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a conversation, but something like that level of disrespect. Anyway, people talk out of both sides of their necks. Should we be violent or shouldn't we be violent? And why is violent only cool when certain people do it? Again, my robbery case, I was facing 5 to 99. And they make it seem like it was a big deal because I had a gun. The cop that shot Sonya Massey had a gun. The cop that shot Philando Castillo had a gun. The cop that shot Tamir Rice had a gun. Now, unfortunately, the cop that shot Philando Castillo acquitted. The cop that shot Tamir Rice acquitted. And I bet they're still alive. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're still cops. I would love to interview those cops. The cop that shot Philando Castillo was a Mexican. And he shot Philando Castillo like that shit was crazy. You can almost say the cop that shot Sonya, you can almost say, especially with the maggots, the way the maggots was making those videos talking about she threw the water, she threw the water. Either way it go, what kind of bitch are you? First of all, somebody throw hot water on you, especially as far away as they was, move back, motherfucker. It's just fucking hot water. It's just fucking hot water. And I know there's going to be a lot of people in the comment section. Do you know it's boiling? Motherfucker, look at my channel. I've worked with all kind of chemicals. I've worked in all kind of heat. I've worked 13, 14, 15-hour days on days that are 110 degrees in this South Texas, working with pneumatic stuff on cement plants. I've done it in the back of moving vans. Do you know on a 110 day, when it's 110 and you're working in the back of them moving vans, it get like 140 in the van. That's what the temperature is in the van. And if you don't believe me, come work it one summer. Come here and work for a moving company in Austin, Texas. They pay pretty good money. You make pretty good money pretty fast. Those people, that's who need respect. I'm too old for that shit. I might do it again in the future. I'm 47, and I could see myself doing some shit like that again. You know. But that's the double standard, and that's why Black Lives Matter. You know, people, you got to think. Charlie Kirk, his arch rival, Turning Point USA, the arch rivals was Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was a left-wing leaning, and that's another reason, like, all black people should, you know, the Republican Party is just over with. It's just over with. You know, you can almost kind of excuse the Nixon shit, the drug war shit, because it wasn't so universal. Not at the time, not at the moment. Who knew that drug war was going to lead to, like, the shit we see in Louisiana? You know what I'm saying? The narcos. In San Antonio, I'm in Austin right now. In San Antonio, they got this truck, and I'm sure they got them in other places, but they got this truck that they drive into the poor neighborhoods, and they'll drive a battering ram through the door, and then they'll pull the house down. Because these houses, like in the hood, they little bitty shotgun houses. The type of houses that you could tear down with a sledgehammer in a few hours. You know, they was built, some of them houses, you know, over 100 years old, built by poor people that made it with their own hands. And in certain streets, man, certain houses, man, them narco polices. And they probably do it somewhere here in Austin, too. Even though I doubt that. I doubt that. See, I be talking to a lot of the locals, and a lot of the locals be telling me, no, man. Because I'll be telling them, I'll be like, man, these Austin police ain't that bad. And they be like, no, man, they just as bad as San Antonio or Houston or Dallas or Chicago. And I'll be like, look, I've gotten into it with the police. They just arrested me for some bullshit 2 weeks ago. That trespassing shit. Some bullshit. But still, man, it ain't like I say, that when that cop reached in the back, slapped me in the face, me and George was just having a regular old fight. Me and him was just having a fist fight. A one-on-one fist fight in our neighborhood. Motherfuckers cuffed us, threw us in the back of the seat. And what he called himself like lecturing us. George didn't say nothing to the cop. I was talking shit to the cop. Fuck you. I hope I'm not being too loud, man. This dude over here, another homeless dude living in his vehicle. He shouldn't be able to hear me through the, with my windows up, and it's hard living on the streets, man. Tupac, he got that one song I was listening to. It's hard to carry on in the world knowing no one loves you. What's up? Oh, that was in the Only God Can Judge Me. Yeah, I was listening to that today. Tupac. Rest in peace, Tupac. But Tupac and me, our dreams are gonna come true. To the black people, I'm sorry, man. Hard times are coming. But the good thing about it is all the people that make fun of Sonya Massey being dead made videos talking about that cop was innocent and justified. That cop wasn't justified. It's already fucked up that he got the lesser charge. Second or third degree charge. Facing 4 to 20 years. 4 to 20 years for shooting a woman in the face that called the police for help. It's happened a lot. Black people call the police for help, and we're the ones that they get. We got to help ourselves. We got to help ourselves. And we got to be more in touch with reality. See, Sonya Massey was too spiritual, you know what I'm saying? She called the police because she thought somebody was creeping around outside her house. So the cops came around to like look around her house and make sure there was nobody there. That's why that white cop was so annoyed. You know what I'm saying? He was like, what the fuck? That's not what I'm a cop. I didn't become a cop to make sure that this single woman who, you know, if you want to be protected, you should have a man. It's just that red pill shit. So he's mad at Sonya Massey. You could tell from the beginning to the end. He's mad at Sonya Massey. He's irritated with her. The fuck? I got to come and protect this. That's what I got to waste my time on. But Sonya Massey called because she thought somebody was trying to break into her house. Was somebody trying to break into her house? I don't think so, man. You know, a lot of black people just too damn spiritual. That's one reason that the Ku Klux Klan used to dress up like ghosts, because the blacks wouldn't investigate the noises and stuff like that. And I say the blacks, but not all the blacks. You know, it's definitely, like people love to say black people scared of nature. Nigga, no, that's not true. That's not true. If you think that, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. It's real talk. There's something wrong with you. You know, I used to run away as a little boy. I was a little black Chicago kid. And when you run away, you ain't no telling where you're going to end up. And I stayed in nature. Now, I was in Chicago. I ain't going to lie. Chicago is urban as hell. So, no, I wasn't staying in woods. I was sleeping on rooftops and shit like that, and trains. And yeah, it was dangerous for us back then. You know what I'm saying? When I say, like, one thing I'm making this video about, I got into not even an argument, but I put in the comments, somebody, I was watching a video, some dudes sliding around in ice. There's a story. Two dudes, this happened like 2013. Two white dudes tried to rob me with a knife back in 2013. It was like the very end. It was 2013. It was still 2013. But I was living in a homeless shelter that whole year in San Antonio. Not that whole year. But that was the first year I ever lived in a homeless shelter. I lived in a Haven for Hope. So anyway, I'm in a Haven for Hope. And one of the main reasons I'm in a Haven for Hope, I'm trying to get back into trucking. And I'm trying to get back into trucking. I eventually get a job with CRST. They won't hire me back, I don't think, ever. But I got it with CRST. And at the time, you know, I think CRST is still kind of like a ghetto-ass company. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is. I couldn't imagine them changing they model. But either way it go is, you know, I go to CRST, and during the course of that, we finished orientation, finished class and everything. They rent us some cars. And this was that real bad winter storm that came at the end of 2013. A whole bunch of people died. It was crazy. That was one reason I was getting back into trucking, because didn't know truckers want to drive. Trucking had got crazy and super dangerous. But anyway, I'm in Oklahoma City, and it was a crazy ice storm. So anyway, the whole city is covered in ice. The whole city is covered in ice. And so I'm walking, and I'm not from Oklahoma, but I'm using Google Maps, and I'm looking for some shit to get into. We stand in this hotel in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma City, and I'm not from Oklahoma, and I'm not familiar with this type of environment. It's not my first time in Oklahoma. I got my CDL many years before that. And also Oklahoma is right above Texas, so I've been to Oklahoma. But anyway, I'm walking, and I try to always keep a pocket knife on me. And anyway, it's very icy, so it's really hard to walk. And when you walk in the ice, like when you slip and fall on ice, man, that shit is rough. The shit is hard. You know, ice is really, really hard, man. So when you fall on ice, it hurts, man. It hurts. You got to learn real quick. You got to learn real quick. And you got to learn how to fall too. You know what I'm saying? When you're in those situations and you falling a lot, and you know, like falling in the WWF ring is one thing. Falling on the mat in the gymnast class is one thing. Falling in a controlled environment is one thing. But when you're a little boy walking to school in the snow in Chicago, you got to walk to catch the train or something. Like, man, growing up in Chicago, poor, you know what I'm saying? Like, when my mom sent me off to school, I had to fucking go to school. I had to fucking go to school. Ice out there, it don't matter. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, they shut down school for snow in Chicago. No, they don't. They do, but it got to be bad. It got to be bad. Because if they cancel school, that means a lot of people going to have to miss work. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit of ice is not enough for them to cancel school. And then on top of it, my mama we was poor. So 9 times out of 10, I might have to go to school on the public transportation. I might have got to catch the train, the CTA train. And I remember some days those platforms would be slippery, man. That's why these days, in cities like Chicago, and not even just Chicago, some places in California, you'll see it. You go to climb the stairs on the train stations, and they got these little, like, rough, rigid pieces in the front to where even if it's icy, you could walk pretty easy. But either way it go, you know, falling on ice hurts hard, really hard. Really, really hard, man. Really, really hard. Really, really hard. You know, people from my generation, first and foremost, in my generation, there was definitely soccer kids. Just like now, there's soccer kids. But now, even now, not all kids are soccer kids. We talk about how soft kids are. I don't know if kids are really any softer. Because, you know, you wonder. Because in the neighborhoods, no, they are softer. Yeah, now that I think about it. Because, yeah, kids just don't hang out as much anymore, even in the hood. Some kids still play outside. And those kids, those are the evolved kids. Those are the only kids that should be talking shit. You know, that's something about the red pill dudes I can't stand. Most of them dudes was indoor kids. They didn't go outside. When I was little, they used to, your mom, especially like certain situations, your mom forced you to go outside and be like, don't come back till the streetlights come on, motherfucker. Don't come back till the streetlights come on, motherfucker. No, you're not finna be up in here driving me crazy all fucking day. Don't come back to the street. We live in this little bitty ass place. I pay rent. I work hard. I need some alone time. I got the day off. Go outside and don't come back to the streetlights come on. Hopefully my kid don't die. But if my kid ain't back by the time it get dark, I'll start looking for him. Hopefully they get him. You know what I'm saying? When you poor, your mom probably be hoping that sometimes. Hopefully this motherfucker, I hope this motherfucker don't make it back today. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things, like, people talk about these bitches in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They want you to get smoked behind them so they can put you on the t-shirt and they can brag about it. There's some women like that. Some women like that. But it's women like that in all economic statuses. You know what I'm saying? They got black widows and shit. Damn. I'm going to upload this anyway because I recorded it. And I'm here at the gym. I'm going to use the Wi-Fi. I don't know what I'm going to title this shit, but Sonya Massey, man. Man, I hope that motherfucker get 20 years, and I hope he gets murdered while he's in prison. Can I say that? That shouldn't be illegal. I didn't say I want to kill him, and I'm not telling anybody to kill him, but I'm saying I hope you get murdered, you punk motherfucker. Why you kill that woman, man? At the very least, let me interview some of these dudes. Again, I would love somebody give me a job. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for these trucking jobs. I really shouldn't be trucking no more. I need somebody to give me like an interview job where I go into prisons and interview people. Many years ago, Oprah had a contest for a TV show. I lost resoundingly. I didn't lose resoundingly. My TV show ideas did not do that bad. But I didn't have no chance of winning. And then on top of it, you know, like the dude who won in the Austin area, they had a team. They had a team. And I'm not mad at them. I'm talking about Zach Anner, actually. I was actually rooting for Zach. And once I realized I was going to lose the contest, it was no way I could win. Once the main people was winning by like 4 million points and 4 million votes and all that, I was like, anybody who see this, don't even vote for my shit. Zach has a chance. Now, Zach turned out to be, Zach's just a comedian. And me, I never really wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be more like a commentator. Like I like Bill Cosby, man. It's funny how everybody believed Bill Cosby raped all those women. Even Joe. It's another reason I was trolling Joe. Joe thinks that Bill Cosby raped all those women, but Donald Trump is being lied on. Personally, I'm not gay or anything. I don't know what an attractive man is. But personally, from my eyes, it looks like Donald Trump and Bill Cosby are ugly-ass motherfuckers, I would assume. Again, I don't know what a woman would look for in a man, but I would assume that Donald Trump and Bill Cosby are both equally ugly motherfuckers. So why would any woman fuck them without money? And when you that type of dude, you develop a rapey mentality. Now, I don't know what to think about Bill. I don't think that he's what they say he is. I think it's very exaggerated because that's what the court does. I call cases, and they don't talk realistic, man. Them motherfucking prosecutors, man. Like, you look at my cases and my paperwork, them motherfuckers talk like I was the most gangster motherfucker. That's the funny thing about my childhood. Motherfuckers only had one in between. You either too hard or you's a fake wannabe. I can't be both. Can't be both. The city psycho. But again, that's the thing about, the paperwork. They never put your humanity on the paperwork. You never a human on the paperwork. You're calculating